up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I got another crazy story for you. Everybody's good buddy Freddie. He's got another wild one. So sit back, enjoy. You know, you're gonna really enjoy this one. It's not for children. Does involve some illegal stuff, but you're gonna love this one.
All right, so we've taken shelter now because it started to rain. Maybe if it lets up, we'll head back to the other side of the river. But for right now, I'm gonna do this story right here in the hobo shelter. Oh man, they've got it set up. Look, they've even got some hand sanitizer over there. All right, so this happened back in 2008, probably late spring, early summer. I was living in a house off of Aurora with some friends. For the purpose of this story, we're going to call the people that are involved K, J, and T. Back in the days of Dragon House, which we're not far from, if you are familiar with this area, if you know where we're at. We used to go back there all the time, just like all the other young kids back in the day, to chill, smoke, drink, do whatever. We weren't really partying and fucking shit up there like a lot of people were when Bad Apple spoils the fucking bunch. I believe it was K and J had taken a trip out to Dragon House one night, and they were walking back down the road, and they saw on someone's back dock a little dinghy, a little green and white dinghy, a little four-seater, and they decided, oh, we wanna take this boat, and we wanna go out on the river and smoke a blunt out on the river. So they come back, they tell me and T about this. T's down, and I'm like, I don't know about that, man. You know, like I'm okay with shoplifting from Walmart every once in a while here and there, you know. This is back in the day. I don't do this anymore. But, you know, I'm not going to just steal from someone. You know, that's kind of fucked. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So Kay is like, well, what if we just took it for a joyride? What if we just took it out on the river, smoked the blunt, and then brought it back? And I was like, you know what? That sounds cool. We could do that. I'm down with that. So it was a Saturday night, Sunday morning. I want to say about 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. And we had to bring dikes because these people had actually tethered the dinghy down to their dock. Now, they hadn't done this always. This is kind of funny because we found out later that another few friends of ours had done this same thing and taken it and rode it down somewhere south of here and left it, I think, down by like Jorgen's Point down there by Palm Bay, somewhere down there. But these people ended up finding their dinghy, getting it back, and we're like, all right, well, now we're going to tether it down. We ended up having to go up there with dikes. T and I stood watch while K and J went back there, cut it off the freaking dock, grabbed the oars, brought it back up to the road. We pretty much ran down the road with this thing over our backs down to Dragon House. Because there was a little boat ramp near the front of the property on the west side going into the river, and we launched from that little boat ramp and out into the river we went. We want to go out on the river and smoke a blunt out on the river. And like I said, I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning because it took us about 4 hours to cross the river, and it was just about breaking dawn when we got across the river. So as we crossed the river, and we got out there, smoked the blunt, whatever.
Go out on the river and smoke a blunt out on the river.
And I'm not sure who did it first or whose idea it was. I want to say it was Kay, but someone had pulled up a crab trap, and there was a crab in it. And this is why I want to say it was Kay's idea. It was because I was a vegetarian at the time. And that never really sat well with Kay. He hated it. He always wanted me to eat meat and shit. And so he was pretty much like, yo, like, I know your reasons for being a vegetarian. You know, you don't like the inhumane slaughter of animals. He's like, this is fresh. This is right out of the fucking river. This crab has lived its life. He's like, we took this home and boiled it up. Would you eat it? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So we continued across the river with this crab trap with this one crab in it, all the while pulling traps up. We never emptied any of them. Except for the one that we took, but we would pull, you know, 1 or 2 big crabs out of them, put it in our crab trap, and kept going. By the time we got across the river, we had maybe 6 or 8 crabs in this crab trap. Now, remember, the original plan was just to take it and bring it back.
We want to go out on the river and smoke a blunt out on the river.
About halfway across the river, Kay looks at me and he's like, yo, you know we're not taking this thing back, right? I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'm already, part of this, whatever. Let's do it. And so I had driven everyone over here in my dad's Explorer. He was letting me borrow it at the time. I had it for maybe 3 days. And we parked it right up here at the end of Mathers and did our thing, crossed the river. We tied off to the boat dock at the back of the O'Galley Library. J&T stayed with the dinghy and the crab trap, while Kay and I walked back to the house, got in Kay's car, and drove back over to the Explorer. Now, Kay had this really sweet, it was I want to say a 94 and 95 Nissan 200 SX that he had tricked out in the year before. In the past year, he had gotten subs, rims, he painted the trim on it to be accented, he got a carbon fiber hood, put a racing clutch in it, did a bunch of work on this car, put a bunch of time and money into this car. We're going across the causeway to go to the boat dock to load the dinghy up into the Explorer and get J&T and go back home. Well, coming down the causeway, Kay starts putting on his brakes in front of me. All right, I'm following him, he starts putting on his brakes. I start putting on my brakes, only the brakes don't really do anything. It felt like I had just barely tapped them with my big toe, and I pushed that bitch to the floor. All right, so my initial thought was, all right, pump the brakes. I went to pump the brakes, and the pedal was stuck to the floor. And so I'm gnashing on this fucking brake pedal. At this point, I'm getting really freaked out. Some shit's about to go down. So I'm mashing on the brake pedal, and nothing's happening. If I had known where the e-brake in this car was, I would have used it. I was unfamiliar with the pedal type of e-brakes at the time. I was looking around for a handle, didn't see one. And so I made a split-second decision. As I had Kay in front of me, I could have either rear-ended him, sent him out into the intersection, because we were coming up to a red light right there at Pineapple and O'Galley. Could have rear-ended him, sent him into the intersection, he could have gotten hit, or I could have tried to go around him, maybe hit somebody else in the other lane, hit somebody else in the intersection. All those options seemed pretty shitty. The option of the fence to my right, which is right on the corner of Pineapple and O'Galley, right where Squid Lips is now. The fence is not there anymore, but the tree is still there, and you can see the tree. So I decided maybe that fence will stop me. So I whipped it to the right. The chain link fence, I went right through that bitch. Completely plowed it over, destroyed the front passenger side, hit one of the palm trees that's there. And you can see it now, because all those other palm trees are sticking straight up, except for this one. It's cocked at a 45-degree angle, because I hit that bitch hard. The truck ended up hitting the tree, going up, and flipping over like this. It landed almost on the roof, and then rolled back over onto the side, right? I watched the window just shatter next to me as it fucking hit. It was, oh man, it was nuts. Crazy shit. I don't remember when it was happening. Fuck. This is not happening. Bam! Shit. What the fuck just happened? So I'm sitting there, the car's still running. My immediate instinct is to kill the engine. I don't want the fucking shit to blow up. So I turn the engine off and just drop the keys. My next thought is, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I took off my seatbelt. Thank God I was wearing it. I was only wearing my swim trunks too. Other than that, but I'm looking out my windows and my windshield, and I'm seeing these two dudes run up. One, this regular Florida-looking guy, tank top, shorts, maybe in his 40s. Other older dude, maybe 60s, 70s, in his Sunday suit. And both of these guys are running up to me to help, dude. And this one dude in plain clothes gets on top of the car, on top of the passenger side, and just hulks open the fucking passenger door for me. I'm like, fuck yeah. So I crawl out of the side, now the top, and I get out of there, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Kay had just gotten these subs in his car, so he was blaring through the eyes of the dead when this happened. He had no idea. He just continued to the library and is sitting there with J&T, and they're like, hey, where's Freddie? And he's like, I don't know, he was right behind me. Like, I don't know what's up. And then they saw the ambulance flying over the causeway. And at that point, Kay was like, oh, fuck. Gets back in his car, drives back over. He said he saw the Explorer flipped over and he immediately was just like, and he looked over and saw me standing on the street corner and was just like, oh my God, thank God. He comes up, parks the car, gets out, and he says, dude, what the fuck happened? I was like, yo, the brakes went out. He said, dude, I wish I was in there with you. And I'm so glad that he was not, because he does not wear his seatbelt. He would have ended up on top of me. We hit on the passenger side. He might have gotten hit into the dashboard or the windshield or something. He would have gotten fucked up. I was wearing my seatbelt. The only thing I came out of there with was a little bit of bruise on my knee, some cuts on my elbow from where the window had shattered, and some like rug burn on my fucking neck from the seatbelt. The cops were like, yo, what happened? I was like, fucking brakes went out, man. He was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. He goes, because it looks like you fell asleep at the wheel. And I was like, no, there's no fucking way I just dreamt that. No, didn't fucking imagine it. Bullshit. That shit fucking just. The Explorer is totaled. We've still got this dinghy and this crab trap sitting over here on the dock, right? And so they're like, yeah, you guys can go. We're gonna take the car to the impound. You know, we're gonna have to deal with that. Whatever. We'll get in touch with you. And I'm like, all right. I'm gonna have to call and tell my dad what the fuck's up. I'm gonna go hang out with my girl that day, and I had to call her and be like, yo, I can't come now because my fucking ride just got totaled. And so we still had the dinghy and everything sitting over there. And so they're like, yeah, you can go do whatever. Pulls up to the side of a galley right there, where it starts being grass and shit, and there are the rocks. And we're pulling the dinghy up from these fucking rocks to load on top of Chris's car, because now we have no way of fucking getting it home. And probably one of the funniest parts of this story is the responding police officers. Pull the total trailer park boys on this one. The responding police officers were like, hey, you guys want some help with that? And we were trying to be cool, so we were just like, yeah, sure. So these two cops pulled a stolen dinghy up on the K's car and tie it up and secure it so we could get it back to the house.
Didn't say anything about the crabs.
No, I think we kept those out of sight. But we'd actually we tied them to the dock, and then once we had the dinghy on there, we went back into the O'Galley parking lot, went and grabbed the trap, put it in the car, and went. But yeah, we got home and had a nice little crab boil.
Nice crab dinner.
Hell yeah, it was
Hell
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, crazy shit, man.
That is.